brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Jade Washaw, #1 best-selling author, Ramsey personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. Kurt starts us in New Jersey. Hey, Kurt, what's up?
Hi, how's it going, Dave?
Better than I deserve, man. How can I help?
I have a little bit of a business question. So I have $57K in personal debt. I started my business less than a year ago. I've been pulling out everything that I make from the business, all my profits, in order to pay off my personal debt. I have no business debt. I was just kind of wondering, I feel like I'm not able to grow the business because I don't have retained earnings. I don't feel comfortable hiring somebody without retained earnings. And I was wondering, too, if I should keep some retained earnings just to maintain overhead. What would you suggest in terms of how I should go about that?
Ooh. Yeah, I would. You can. How much have you pulled out of the business in a year? What are you making?
So year to date, I made about $80K.
Way to go!
I would say my profit margin is about 80%.
Good for you.
I've been pulling out everything.
Cool.
A little bit of a tidbit too is I have a 4-week-old right now. So.
Oh wow,
that's fun! Congratulations. What kind of business did you open?
Physical therapy. I'm a physical therapist.
Oh, wow.
Good for you. Yeah. Okay, what we teach in EntreLeadership is that you pay yourself a living wage, or you pay yourself a salary, an amount that you're comfortable with, that you can make progress on the goals at home, which would include debt. You don't have any debt at the business, so you could just say, I'm going to take a percentage of profit, 10%, 15%, 20%, something like that, and every month, and hold that as retained earnings and take everything else home. And that way your retained earnings grow as fast as they grow as a percentage of profits. So as your profits grow, your retained earnings grow.
Okay. Yeah, that makes me feel a lot more comfortable then.
Yeah. I mean, if you had $8,000 laying over there because you did 10%, or you had $16,000 laying over there because you did 20%, you'd be in really, really good shape.
Yeah, so then it's definitely more than the $1,000 that I would keep in for the security fund.
Exactly. Okay. This is the different formula because it's business that we're dealing with. But yeah, that's what we teach EntreLeaders. It's what we do at Ramsey. And we laughingly call it the Sharon Fund because I was draining everything out of here and then griping about cash flow problems all the time. And Sharon's like, well, you're not even doing what you teach. You don't have an emergency fund. You goober, you're a hypocrite. And I'm like, oh, God, she's right again. So we called it the Sharon Fund when we first started doing it. And so, we've been taking a percentage of profits from the day that I discovered that my wife was brilliant, on. So, yeah.
Well, when Sam and I started our business, it was a similar thing. We still had about $240 some odd thousand that we were paying off. And I mean, we drained all the profit to pay it off. And the most painful part was, you're taking this payroll and then you're turning around paying taxes on it.
Yep.
And then you're using it to pay off all this debt. Mm-hmm. But for us, it felt a little different because it was just the two of us at the time. We had very low overhead. There wasn't a lot of risk involved. And so,
and make sure whatever you're taking home that you're withholding on it so that you can do your quarterly estimates. You don't want to get behind with the KGB, the IRS.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, okay. So as long as you're doing that, just pick a percentage. I don't care. My recommendation would be 10 to 20, somewhere in that range of net profits. And each month when you close your books, go, boom, going to set that aside over here, take everything else home and attack the 57 and get done with it and, be able to buy diapers for the 4-week-old.
Yeah.
Everything works. Very cool. Good stuff, man. Congratulations. Sound like you got it going. I'm proud of you. Alan's in Fort Worth. Hey, Alan, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing well, sir. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. How can we help?
Well, so here's the detail. So my wife and I were in baby step 2, and we're just trying to figure out when does it make sense to pause baby step 2 in order to save for a beater car.
What are you talking about? Why you don't have a car, or what's the situation?
So the situation is we're in I have a car now. Got a big, well, not a big loan on it. It's $24,000, and I guess we're trying to do the whole Gazelle Intense thing, and I'm just thinking, well,
if you got a beater, you'd sell the 24.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
What's your household income?
So all said, so about $6,000 a month for my primary job. I have a secondary job. I get maybe $500 a month, and then VA disability. So around $7,500 a month as my take home. Okay.
All right. And so you have that car, and is it worth around the 24, or what's it worth?
It is. So it's, I looked at Kelley Blue Book, and right now it looks like it's selling for about $22,500, but
okay, what's the other car?
That's it. That's all. I mean, that's
you have one car?
I'm sorry, we have another car.
What's the other car?
Honda Civic.
Okay, what's it worth?
Well, that one's like probably worth $8,000.
Okay,
it's an older car. Yeah.
There's two rules of thumb we use when someone asks this question. Number one, don't have vehicles ever in your life that have motors and wheels, anything with a motor or wheel, added together that equal more than about half your annual income, because you have too much tied up in things going down in value. Agreed?
Yeah,
You're not violating that one.
Okay.
And the second one is, can we be debt-free, everything but the house, in around 2 years? So we know we got 24 in debt. What other debt have you got?
About $3,000 in credit card debt. That's all the debt.
You like the car?
It is a good car. I mean,
then pay it off.
Okay.
You can be debt-free inside of 2 years, easy. Probably about 18 months or less. You're making 90. We need to pay off 25 grand, 26 grand.
Sure.
You can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right.
So you can do it inside of 2 years, and the total is less than half your annual income. That's the two tests that we use, the means test, if you will, to do that. And folks, I tell you, that's not a biblical thing in terms of, it's not in the Bible, because I mean,
it's a rule of
the only
thumb.
thing that's in the Bible is the Honda Accord, because Jesus said they were all in one accord. But none of the rest of them are in the Bible. So you just add it all up, and the problem is that we all in America love cars. Some people love cars because they're a redneck like me and they want a muffler. Some people like a battery called a Tesla. Some people like Rachel and George, they want to catch fire to themselves, and and then some people like my wife likes a nice car because she thinks it's a large purse. And so, but that, we like cars in America, and the stupid things go down in value. And when you take $60,000 or $70,000 and you turn it into $10,000, this is not a wealth building methodology. And it's the largest thing Americans buy that goes down in value, because you are what you drive. That's in America. It's such
Status
an identity
symbol.
piece. Mm-hmm. And man, it's I never thought about that. George is a battery. You are what you drive. Yeah. I'm a loud muffler. So who knew?
That's funny.
Yeah. But the my neighbor said the other day, he goes, I know when you go to work. So how do you know when I go to work? He goes, I can hear it.
So that's who I'm hearing driving? Driving down the road? Oh my gosh. Good to know.
Once a redneck, always a redneck. This is the Ramsey Show. One of the first things I discovered working in the financial world is how absolutely devastating it is when the breadwinner of a family dies and there's too little life insurance or none at all. Grieving families are suddenly left behind, scrambling to pay bills and trying to make ends meet. I also discovered that there are a lot of rip-offs in the life insurance world, like that whole life crap posing as an investment opportunity. What you need is level term life insurance, usually 10 to 12 times your income, which is the smartest, most affordable way to protect your family. The key is finding an independent broker who represents a ton of companies and works for you, not for the insurance company. This is exactly what my friend Jeff Zander and his team at Zander Insurance are all about. They shop the term life companies to find you the best options, and they've been around for over 95 years. So they'll be there when you need them. Xander is the real deal, and that's why they've handled all my personal insurance for over 25 years. I trust them, and you can too. Visit Xander.com for instant online quotes, or for a more personal touch, give them a call at 800-356-4282. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, guys. We appreciate you being with us. Hey, the best way to get a sense of power, a sense of dignity, a sense of sustainability with your money is by telling it what to do instead of wondering where it went. It's called a budget. And when you write down or you use every dollar of the budgeting app and have a plan for your money every month, you'll feel like you got a raise, because you've been wasting so much with disorganization and chaos. Me too. I used to do that too. I know exactly how it feels. And I've done financial coaching and counseling for 35 years. And Jade has too, not for 35 years, but she's done a bunch of it. And almost every time we sit down with someone, Jade, and they do their budget, they have this aha moment like, wow, I've got some money.
Yep.
It's a big deal. So check out the Every Dollar app for your budgeting. It's the world's best budgeting app, for sure. It's free in the App Store or Google Play, and you can go to everydollar.com and get it there as well. So check it out. We've got tens of millions of people using this every day. It's pretty cool. So thank you guys that are using it. We're glad it's helpful to you. That's what we want to be, is helpful. And pretty incredible. Andrew is with us in Lexington, Kentucky. Hi, Andrew. How are you?
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Hey, so how do I pay off my debt if a good portion, over half of my income, goes to child support and taxes?
How many kids do you have?
I have 3 total. 2 are on child support.
Well, if you have kids, you do have to pay for them. And so that's just I think that's part of normal life if you have kids in a family. Same thing with the taxes. And so in this case, it's really just about the math, right? If you want to go faster, usually the solution is you got to bring in more income and more money. So what are you bringing in right now?
I average about gross, probably about over 3, but I only bring in probably about maybe 12 to 15
a month.
Yes,
$1,500 a month.
Okay, something's wrong with that, because in Kentucky, 2 children, child support's 25%.
Well, I have 2 from 2 separate moms.
Okay. Oh, so you got 20% each?
My daughter, when we went to court and stuff, they did not properly send me paperwork, and the lawyer I had at the time before I found a different lawyer was not in contact with the child support office. So I ended up missing that court date. So they went for max of what they could, even with my other custody or child support that I have.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's 2 things we can do here to work on this. Understanding that what Jade said is proper, and I assume you agree with that you need to pay for your kids.
Yeah.
There's no question about that.
Yeah.
But how can I mathematically make this work? So there is a legal amount in every state. I do not know if it's 2 children from 2 different people, if it changes it, but the max in Kentucky is 25% for 2 kids. Okay? And if you're being charged more than that, you can go back before Child Services, back before the judge, and have it set up properly. And so make sure you're getting charged the right amount, and that you're doing that willingly and gladly because you're a good man and you want to take care of your kids. Okay? But if you're being overcharged, because of a screw up, well, go back and have the screw up fixed. It's not chiseled in stone. You just got to get back before the judge and go, Your Honor, here's what I've got. Here's my budget. Help me with this. Tell me what I'm supposed to do. I'm not trying to dodge here, but I'm also can't breathe. And so I want to sit down and look at that. And so you've got to get back and reset this to what it should legally and, for that matter, morally be. Then the other side of the equation is what Jade said, and let's start talking about how we can increase your income. What can you do instead of making $3,000 a month to make $6,000 a month? And that may be side hustles. It may be career change. It may be something different. But one of the things we see, Andrew, often, it's almost every single debt-free scream that comes in here and is on the stage had an increase in income during the time they're getting out of debt.
It's vital, because the two things that you can do is you can cut expenses and you can increase your income. So there comes a point where you can only cut expenses so much. And then you say, okay, what else can I do? And then it's, okay, I'm increasing my income. I'm picking up a side hustle. I'm taking overtime. Mm-hmm. Anything that will pay me that is legal and moral, I'm going to do that to get money.
Serious money. Yeah. I mean, we had a young lady in her 20s that paid off doing a debt-free scream that just the other day. Were you on with me?
Yes. Yeah. I will never forget.
Attended bar. $9,000 a month.
Single mom.
Yep.
Bartending. Beating alcoholism, and doing 75 hard at the same time.
Yeah, and $9,000 a month. Wait, but she's working 12-hour days at the bar.
Yeah.
And that's hard work, by the way, if you didn't know. So, wow. So I don't know, Andrew, but Jade's right. There's only two ends of the equation. I'd work both of them, and that's be paying the proper amount of child support by the law. And if you need to do an appearance before the judge in order to get that fixed, there's nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. And then increase your income. Lower your expenses, increase your income, and that's what we're doing. So, good question, sir. We appreciate you joining us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. I will tell you this. Something he brought up, we hear a lot. And not necessarily exactly the way that he said it, and I don't know his exact situation. Uh-huh. But here's the thing. If you know there is a thing out there coming at you, you have a former landlord that says you owe them money. That's a thing that's laying out there. You have a repossessed car. Mm-hmm. It's a thing that's laying out there. They're going to come at you. You've got an old credit card from 5 years ago. You've not paid it. They've not called you, but you've done nothing about it. It's coming at you. You're going through a divorce, and when you go through a divorce and you have children, 100% of the time, there's a child support meeting. Mm-hmm. That's coming at you. When you know these things are coming at you, one of the things I've observed is that if you don't go headlong into it, and face it and handle it before it comes to you, mm-hmm. it costs you twice as much. If you wait till the former landlord sues you, if you wait till the old credit card pops up, it's going to pop up right about the time you're trying to buy a house or something, or about the time you're getting engaged or some other kind of crap. These things have a high rate of resurrection. They come back to life. These are debt zombies.
Yeah, you got to be proactive.
And if you don't go find the debt zombie and handle it, so don't tell me, well, they didn't tell me about child support. Dude, you knew about child support. You'd go down there and fix it.
100%.
Instead they jacked you up because you weren't there.
Yeah, because you can't wait for somebody else to tell you.
Down to court and make sure it was taken care of.
Yeah.
You got to wander down there and take care of this stuff, boys and girls. And it's like, well, I didn't know I had a credit. Yes, you knew you had a credit card debt. You did know that. You weren't that drunk for that long. Eventually you sobered up and go, yeah, I ran the balance up on that thing. You do know it happened. And so this stuff, it comes back to life, and it's 10x worse than if you had gone and found it and taken care of it yourself. Mm-hmm. Don't let these things lay out there in the muck, because when they come back to life, they're the swamp monster, and they're 3 times more powerful. Just, you've got to face these things head on. So when you don't take care of business, business will take care of your butt. That's what I'm saying. This is The Ramsey Show. What does the future hold for business? Ask 9 experts and you'll get 10 different answers. Economic growth or a recession? Business taxes will go up or down. AI will help us work or it will replace us all. But there's no such thing as a crystal ball. That's why more than 40,000 businesses have future-proofed themselves with NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud enterprise resource planning system. Ramsey Solutions uses NetSuite, and you should too. Whether your company's earning millions or even hundreds of millions, NetSuite helps you respond to immediate challenges and seize your biggest opportunities. With one unified business management suite, there's only one source of truth for the visibility and control you need to make quick decisions. NetSuite's real-time insights and forecasting help you see into the future with actionable data. And when you're closing the books in days, not weeks, you can spend less time looking backward and more time focusing on what's next. And speaking of what's next, download the CFO's Guide to AI and Machine Learning at netsuite.com/Ramsey. It's free at netsuite.com/Ramsey. Jade Washoe, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Kevin and Siobhan are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave. Great.
Welcome, welcome. Where do you guys live?
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Wow, welcome to Nashville. And how much debt have you two paid off?
$84,000.
Wow. Nice. How long did this take?
28 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
158 to 200.
Cool. What do y'all do for a living?
I'm in engineering operations.
And I am a stay-at-home mom, homeschool my kids, and I've done some side jobs with just like our homeschooling group teaching.
Good for you. Well done. What kind of debt was this $84K?
Dave, it was our house.
Hey! You paid off your house! Woo-woo! Looking at weird people! And we were saying that before the political people were saying it. I'm just saying. All right. Hey, guys, way to go. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I love it. What's the house worth?
$475.
I love it. How old are you two?
43, or both 43.
43-year-old weirdos. Wow. A paid-for house. How much in your nest egg in your retirement accounts and so forth?
$625.
Uh-oh.
Nice.
Baby steps millionaires, too.
Nice.
At 43. Boom, boom. Look at you. How's that feel?
I never thought I would be here. It's amazing.
Wow.
Life-changing.
Congratulations. Proud of y'all. Excellent. So tell us your story. What was your I've had it moment? What turned this whole thing around? How'd you get connected to us?
I've probably been connected to you for about a decade. I think our story starts back in 2007. We were just married. We were living up in Detroit area, and I was working in the automotive industry. And if you remember, 2007, 2008 wasn't a real great time up in Detroit. The company that I worked for was actually sold to a leveraged buyout company. Malin had just been born on May 3rd, and that was the same day we decided we need to get out of here. And we actually put our house on the market.
The day she was born.
The day she was born.
Oh, yeah. That's not, yeah.
And
we are out of here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the real estate market was awful. It took us 5 months to sell the house, and I still remember to this day, we had to write a $20,000 check and bring it to closing just to get rid of the house, and it wiped out our life savings. And we looked at each other, and it wasn't anything we had done wrong, but we just said, we never want to feel like this again. And it was at that point I was able to get a job in Ohio, and my parents lived down there. And we actually moved in with my parents and lived with our daughter Madeline for the first year, just to climb back out, because everything we'd saved for was gone. Everything we'd saved for was gone.
Wow. And then you end up buying a house.
Yes.
And said, but we're going to get it paid off fast.
Yep.
Okay, cool. And you were connected to us way back in Detroit?
I think I may have started listening to it just a little bit, but then really got connected once we moved down to. I probably listened to you for over a decade, so for a long time. Time. Yes.
Well, it worked. You're Baby Steps Millionaire.
Thank you.
From being broke and living in your daddy's basement. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It was actually upstairs. It wasn't in the basement.
You put him in the basement. Okay. All right. Either way, I got you. The attic. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Congratulations, John.
Thank you.
So tell us, what does it look like? For a lot of people don't believe that you could pay off your mortgage one day, right? That's not something people talk about every day unless you're here on the Ramsey Network, right? So so tell people, what does that look like? What do you do in order to be able to pay off your mortgage?
So it was about a couple years ago. Madeline is 17 now, and she was about, she'll be starting college next year. And I think I was just looking at the principal, like the amount, and I just started kind of doing the numbers in my math. And I was like, if we really focus on this, we can get this thing paid off. And it just you had this clarity of thought, like, if we really focus on this, we can get it done. And then you start making the payments and the bonuses and just put it down. It's like, holy cow. It's just unbelievable the traction that you can achieve when you really focus.
Averaged $3 or $4 grand a month for 28 months, and you were done.
Yes.
Yeah. But there's still that intentionality of taking the numbers out of the air, right, and putting them on paper, putting them in your every dollar budget.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, so I got a feeling I know who the nerd is in the family. And so you came out of your cave with your spreadsheet, and what did your wife say?
I think, fortunately, I listened to you long enough that we dreamed together. We had the why. We have had the why conversation for a long time. We talked about what we want our lives to be like when we're older. And so we had that discussion, the why discussion. We dreamed in high definition, as you said.
Yeah.
Early on, we talked about traveling and helping our kids pay for school. And the biggest thing for Siobhan was we had a really challenging time with Madeline when she was little. She had some health issues, and she said, I want to be able to go when I have my grandchildren and just stay with them, whether it's a week or it's a month or whatever it is that they need. I want to have that freedom to be able to go help with my grandchildren. That was that was one of her dreams.
Yeah. And that's called financial independence, so to speak. You're not independent, you're actually interdependent. But yeah, wow, way to go, guys.
Thank you.
Very cool. You guys are heroes. You go from broke to millionaire in 10 years. I mean, that's pretty incredible.
It's just one day. I would say it's also one day at a time too, and just staying focused on that. And the small things add up too, and being content and realizing that stuff doesn't make you happy.
You know, the other gift that's hidden inside this story is you've got these beautiful kids over here that are living in your home, being homeschooled, and they're breathing this air of contentment. They're breathing this air of living on less than we make. And they're breathing air that's not in other homes. And so they can't help but be formed by that. And so if they're ever in their own home and they're not, the air doesn't feel like that, then they know something's wrong. And so you've set a pattern for them. More's caught than taught, Rachel says, and she's right. So that's a pretty cool thing. It's a pretty cool parenting. They're gonna do what you do. They're not gonna do what you say. So pretty impressive.
How do you celebrate? What happens next?
Yeah, what's the big celebration?
Big celebration is actually Madeline's graduating from high school, so we're actually taking a 9-day Caribbean cruise next May.
Yeah, baby!
Love that.
I like it. Yes, we should do that. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, the year she's born, we sell our house at a loss, move into the attic, and the year she graduates, by God, we're going on a cruise. I like it.
That's right.
This is bookending right here, man. It's perfect. It's the way it should be. Well done, you guys. Very well done. All right, bring up the kiddos. Let's meet them all and their names and ages, please.
Madeline here is 17.
Right.
Nicholas is 12, and Samuel is 14.
All right. Very good. Good job, you guys. Proud of y'all. And I assume they've been practicing their debt-free scream because their mom and dad are heroes.
Yes.
They live with weirdos in a debt-free house.
Yep.
Debt-free millionaires at 42 freaking years old.
Amazing.
Shut up. This is great. I'm so proud of y'all. You're just amazing. Just amazing. All right, Kevin and Siobhan, Madeline, Samuel, and Nicholas, Cincinnati, Ohio, $84,000 paid off. That's their house and everything, making them Baby Steps millionaires. In 28 months, they paid off the house, making $158,000 to $200,000. Count it down. Let's hear a debt debt-free. Scream!
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Yeah! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo!
Good.
I
That's
love
good.
it. This 10 to 15 year time span. It was 2007, so I quoted that wrong. It wasn't 10 years, so it would be 15 years or so, 16 years that it took them to turn. When you say I'm going to become a millionaire, most people think it takes 50 years.
Your whole life. Yeah.
And it's going to take forever, and I'm not going to have a life. And
I'll be 80 by the time I'm
going to live in a cave and collect lint until I'm 92, and old paper clips and whatever else. Right? It's just like, oh God, no, it's not how it works. They're 42. They're going on a 9-day cruise to celebrate this. Okay, so if you're 27 and you're whining about a little bit of sacrifice, shut up and do the work.
I know. Wow.
Step up. Seriously.
Because 40 is the new 30.
I thought 60 was. But
we could do that too.
apparently green is a new fashion trend.
That's right. You're on trend, Dave. Good job.
I had no idea you and I were both dressed to join the Army today,
And
but we
glasses,
did.
too.
So, hey, we're a real team around here. We're more in sync than we realize. Way to go, you guys. We're
I gotta
very
give you
proud
some of
of
my
you.
hair.
No. Oh, man, I'm proud of those people. What a neat family. This is the Ramsey Show. Mortgage rates have dropped, so if you're thinking about buying a home in the next year, contact your local Churchill mortgage team right now. If you wait, more people will be in the market competing for the same homes and potentially driving up prices. Churchill will help you do the math to be sure your budget is correct, making your home a blessing and helping you build lasting wealth. Learn more at churchillmortgage.com. churchillmortgage.com. Thanks for joining us, America. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Tony's in Chicago. Hi, Tony. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for having me on the show.
Sure. What's up?
Well, my mother passed away about 18 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
She left me and my brother a paid-off home, currently valued at $450,000. I'm executor on the house, and I'm trying to make a decision as to whether sell the house and have to throw my brother out on the street or let him continue living there.
Okay. Well, I assume he doesn't have the money to buy out your half?
He does not.
Okay. I think it's a little dramatic to say throw him out on the street. He's going to have $200,000 in his pocket when he lands on the street.
I feel the same way.
Yeah. So, I mean, on what planet does he think he gets to live there for free indefinitely?
Well, he's been living there for free for about 15 years now. He has an anxiety disorder, which led him to be dependent on Xanax. He does not work. His girlfriend pays all his bills. She's been living there for about 9 years. She's a disabled vet who works part-time as a nurse. My mother couldn't have the heart to put him out on the street. And as a Christian, I'm struggling too. You know, what's the right decision?
Okay, I'm not sure that supporting or enabling people's inability or unwillingness to deal with their stuff is non-Christian. As a matter of fact, it's non-Christian to enable them to sit in the sewage that we call their life right now. Loving them well would require them to deal with their stuff and build a sustainable life and dignity.
Right.
That would be an act of love. Does that sound right?
Yes. I agree.
A Christian, the definition of Christian is not wimp. It's not doormat. It's kind, but it's also strong, and it's acting in others' best interests. So what is best for your brother is for him to heal, to seek counsel and deal with the anxiety and get off the drugs. And, because the way you stated this, you don't believe that, you believe he's escaping reality rather than dealing with and getting better. That's what I heard you saying. Did I miss something?
No, I think you're saying it correctly.
Yeah. And that's your viewpoint on it. And so if this is my friend or my brother, loving them well would be helping them do better in their life, not giving them a cocoon to continue to retreat down into a hole.
Right.
So that's what enabling. Your mom was an enabler.
Right.
And sweet, all enablers are nice people. They're the nicest people on the planet because they don't want to do anything that causes conflict or raises an eyebrow. So, gosh, I guess you've got two options. One is you do have to deal with this lovingly and help him get better, and sit down with him and the parasite that moved in with him, and because he attracted that with his life. That's what his life attracted, and help them deal with it and help them see a path of what they could do with the money from the house, or just deed it to him and walk away.
Right.
Which is honestly cowardice.
Yeah. Do you need the money? It's a lot of money.
I definitely need the money. Yeah. Yes, I do. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, there is a practical nature to this as well, which is just because he lived in the house for 15 years doesn't make it wasn't his.
It's not his house.
It wasn't his house.
Not his house.
And now you have ownership of it, and there's nothing wrong with you saying, hey, can you please, this is $200,000 that you're holding hostage, and I really need access to that. And there's nothing wrong with saying that. And to Dave's point, you're not putting him on the street. He's coming away with a couple $100,000, which is a nice chunk of change. And
where is the house?
Where's the house?
Mm-hmm.
In Niles, just outside of Chicago.
Oh, in Chicago area. Okay.
Yeah, Chicago area.
Are you in that area as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, are you married?
No, I am divorced.
Okay. Okay. I'm just looking for what the dynamics are. So,
sure.
Is there anyone in you and your brother's life that could sit with the two of you while you work on this that could help kind of navigate through all the emotion?
Well, I haven't talked to my brother in probably 5 months.
Okay.
So this makes it even more difficult. He's basically just cut everybody off in his life.
Okay. All right. I would call him and I would go over there, and it's half your house, okay? And say, we need to have a cup of coffee, and I love you, and I want to be kind to you, and we've got to talk about what we're going to do here. Because I can tell you this, one of the options is not, this is you talking to your brother. If it's me, you got to love him well enough to be strong and kind. And just, honey, one of the options is not you stay here free the rest of your life. That's not an option. I'm the executor of the estate, and legally, that gives me the power to evict you. And so you and I can do this together nicely, and we can figure out a way to get the house sold. Or if you've got money that I don't know about, you can buy me out. I don't care. But I'm not going to sit here and do nothing, and you aren't either, because I'm going to force you to do these other things. So I really want to do this in a way that you and I work together and we can be friends the rest of our life. And but that's going to be up to you.
Okay.
That's what I'm telling him. It's up to him how he reacts to this situation, because his set of assumptions are completely immoral, unethical, and unreasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
And so he can choose to react and act like you're doing something wrong, but you're not.
And you have to go in knowing that.
So let me just tell you. So you go over there, the whole thing blows up. He has a fit, acts like a 4-year-old, says, "Get out of here, or I'm going to shoot you." Then you say, "All right, here's what we're going to do. You're going to be getting a letter from the attorney, and the attorney's going to be telling you that you have 30 days to move. And after that, we're going to evict you. And after that, I'm going to sell the house, and I will still send you your half of the house once it's sold, but you are leaving. And you chose poorly on how to react to this. It's still going down, honey." And then just walk off and go get a lawyer.
Okay.
Because that's probably what's going to happen. Am I right?
I'm really taking this to heart. The other thing in the interim, my father has gone ahead and he's taken $1,400 a month from his future inheritance, and he's giving that to me as rent. And he says, "Well, as long as your brother's in there," he says, "you're going to keep getting $1,400 a month, and that'll go over to your inheritance." But Dave, as well as I know, we don't have the crystal ball. That money could easily disappear down the road. We don't know.
I don't like that.
So your father also is an enabler. He's covering for him too. Am I understanding that right?
I think he was just feeling bad for me and just the
you
situation.
feeling bad for you. Oh, okay.
Well, it's both, because he's saying, "I'm essentially paying your brother's rent, and if you let me pay rent to you, then you can let him stay in the house." It's very twisted, all of it. I mean, I don't have to tell you that it's unhealthy, an unhealthy dynamic.
I would rather him give your brother $1,400 to help him get counseling and go to a rehab center and go inpatient treatment and get some help with the anxiety disorder so he can become sustainable and healed. I'd rather him use the money for that and let the lady who lives there's family take care of her, and your dad to help take care of your brother. And if you want to use some of the money from the house to take care of him, if he's moving in positive steps, I'd be willing to do that if I were you. But I am not willing to sit here and cause this dysfunction to happen to me. It is not good for anyone in the story. No one in the story is winning.
Correct.
No one in the story is going to have a better life because of this. So it just requires proactivity on your part, and I'm sorry, but it's going to be, you got a year of emotional hell ahead of you. You're going to get called everything in the book before this is over. I'm sorry. Pick up Dr. Henry Cloud's book, Boundaries. You'll read it, and you'll go, "Oh, there's my family." This is The Ramsey Show. Hey, you guys, I'm not a fan of the big banks, and you probably already know which ones I mean. But I do like credit unions because they're nonprofit organizations that focus on their members. And I'm proud to endorse Fair Winds Credit Union because they share the Ramsey mission of helping people get out of debt and live generously. In fact, they design products to help keep you from going into debt in the first place. Fair Winds has been in business for over 75 years, and they serve hundreds of thousands of members worldwide. You can feel secure because your deposits are federally insured by the NCUA up to $250,000. It's easy to join, and Fair Winds partners with more than 5,000 credit union locations around the country, so you can bank in person wherever you live. But if you prefer the online experience, you can log on to Fairwinds and do anything you could do at a physical location. So go to fairwinds.org/Ramsey to learn more. And while you're there, look at the combined checking and savings account bundle they created just for Ramsey fans to help you take control of your finances. That's Fairwinds, FAIRWINDS.org/Ramsey. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Jade Warshaw, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. Open phones here at 888-825-5225. The call is free, and some say the advice is worth exactly what you pay for it. Scott is in Baltimore. Hi, Scott. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Good afternoon, Dave and Jade. How are you doing today?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
So I'm a 58-year-old single guy, getting tired of working. I'm trying to get to retirement, but I don't have really anything saved. I need to know what I should do to get there.
Okay. What do you make?
75.
What do you do?
I'm a trim carpenter. I trim high-end houses and build some custom cabinets as well.
Okay.
Do you have any debt?
I've got about $25,000 worth of a mortgage and $20,000 auto loan.
Okay.
Good. Okay. All right. Why have you saved no money?
I was married to a spender, and at the age of 50, got divorced, and I walked away with $0.
That was 8 years ago.
So
why have you saved no money in the last 8 years?
Well, getting back on my feet, I ended up buying a house. That's where the mortgage comes in. I got $25,000 left on that.
So is that where your extra money was going, paying down that mortgage? What did it start as?
Paying down the mortgage, and it was a bank-owned property. I got it for a song in a great neighborhood. I put a fair amount of money into it, and that's where most of my money went. So
Okay. All right. So, and you bought a truck?
No, I have I have a truck that's paid for.
Oh, what's the $20,000 vehicle?
I know you're into cars, Dave. It's not a car. It's a motorcycle. It's a Harley Davidson.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, we got to get rid of that.
I knew that was the first thing you were going to tell me to get rid of.
Yeah, it's gone.
So
if you want to save money, I mean, we can't keep doing what we've been doing. Okay, you have a $20,000. Right. You almost owe as much on your motorcycle as you do on your house. That's weird.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, really. So you did so good on the house and so poorly on the motorcycle. So that was a weak moment. I'm sure it's a great bike. But it's gone. It's gone. It's somebody else's great bike now. And because we need you to, and then, what I would say is let's get on an every dollar budget and build an emergency fund first of 3 to 6 months of expenses, and then pick up every extra job you can get. And let's pretend that you saved $10,000. Let's pretend you saved $24,000, $2,000 a month, $24,000 per year for 10 years. That'd be $240,000 plus growth. It'd be $500,000.
Okay.
Okay, and you're 67, and you'd have $500,000 in a paid-for house.
Okay, I do have about $23,000 in cash.
Okay, well then you got your emergency fund in place.
That's great.
I do have the emergency fund.
Yeah.
Right. I've got a term life insurance policy.
Mm-hmm.
It's $100 a month for $500,000. Should I keep that, or is there a way to convert that to something else?
I didn't convert. It's just like I have homeowners insurance and I don't have a home anymore. Do I need it? No, you don't. Because there's no one counting on you, it sounds like, for your income.
No.
Okay. And the house is worth more than you owe on it. Do you have children?
I've got 3.
Okay. So if you die, they sell the house and pay the funeral, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Let it lapse.
Yeah. So I would close that out because you need that extra $100 a month toward our $2,000 a month goal.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
what I'm
Yeah.
going to do is sit down and do a budget, and I'm going to come up with $2,000 a month. I'm going to sit down with a SmartVestor Pro, and I'm going to fill up Roth IRAs and simple IRAs and whatever else you can do as a self-employed person. The great news is, as a trim carpenter in high-end properties, you are in great demand. You've always had more work than you could take on.
Right.
And so if you want to jack it up and make some extra money for a little while, you can do that. I'm always less tired when I don't feel like a hamster in a wheel, when I'm actually getting traction.
Right.
Part of
Oh,
what's
I can
making
tell
you
you-
tired is you feel stuck.
I don't know if I necessarily feel stuck. I know what stuck feels like because once I got out of my divorce and got rid of the spender and started actually saving or being able to have money and didn't have to live paycheck to paycheck and play the beat the bank game, I sat down one day and thought, wow, this feels really good.
Yeah, I'm tired of working is what you told me. And so if my work is going toward a goal that I'm excited about, I'm not as tired. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, yeah. Well, my goal is to get as much money, save as much money as I can for retirement. And retirement for me is probably working 3 and 4 days a week instead of, 5, 6, and 7 days.
That's true, but there always comes a time where you won't be working anymore. And so making sure you get to the point that you're okay when that phase of life hits is also very important.
See, if you had $500,000 in the bank at 67, or in a mutual fund at 67 and a paid-for house, that $500,000 will throw you $50,000 a year.
Right. Okay.
Without forever. And so you can travel, you could do whatever you want to do with $50,000 a year. You work 1 day a week, you can do whatever. What I do know, having grown up and been in the building business, real estate business my whole life, is trim carpenters are artists. They're the artist on the site. They're very precise, very detailed. He makes furniture. You've got an artist's eye. And I need you to use your business side, the science, not the art side of this discussion that we're having. Okay? You can't art your way out of this one. You got to science your way out of this one. And so it's a math thing, and then it will build you a situation where you have enough of a nest egg that it cause you to have a good life. That's what I'm wanting to move you towards. So you got 10 years, $2,000 a month, and you can get there. It's very doable. And you might fool yourself. You might get there sooner because the more you pile it up, the faster, the more you're willing to work, all that kind of stuff. So, you can back down at whatever point. But I would sit down with a SmartVestor Pro, go to RamseySolutions.com, pick somebody with the heart of a teacher and say, this is my situation. I've got to do this. Dave told me to get on an every dollar budget. He told me to jack my income up, get rid of my motorcycle. Jade told me to get rid of my motorcycle, but Dave agreed. And
I could just slide that in there.
just threw that through the under. You see the bus tracks? I see the bus tracks right across her. Blum, blum. Yeah, there we go. And get you a game plan, man, and then execute the game plan just like you were doing a job on a house. You lay out the game plan, you lay out what is needed, you get the supplies on hand, and you execute. Same thing here. Same exact deal. This is The Ramsey Show. You've been gazelle intense, you've eaten more beans and rice than you knew existed, and now you're ready to make your biggest investment better. Blinds.com is a great way to dress up a room or your entire home. Whether you're comfortable with do-it-yourself projects or you don't even know what a Phillips head screwdriver is, well, trust Blinds.com to take care of you like Ramsey would. You can do the measuring and installation yourself, or you can let Blinds.com's professionals handle everything for you. Blinds.com offers a completely hassle-free experience. Count on them to deliver stylish window treatments from premium brands without the premium markup. You'll never have to deal with pushy salespeople in your home just to get a quote. But you can count on free shipping, free samples, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee so that you can rest easy. That's why we've recommended Blinds.com for over 10 years. Get 50% off site-wide for a limited time at Blinds.com. That's Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Today's question of the day is brought to you by Why Refi. If private student loan debt is taking away your peace of mind and you don't see any way out, you need Why Refi. Why Refi refinances defaulted private student loans that other places won't touch. And they give you a low, fixed-rate loan that's custom built for you. So, go to whyrefi.com/Ramsey. That's the letter Y, REFY.com/Ramsey. Might not be in all states.
Today's question comes from Patty in Illinois. My husband and I purchased a very modest home for his parents due to the rising cost of rent in our area. My father-in-law is disabled. My mother-in-law works full-time at a very modest job, and they pay us a small amount of rent each month. It's been 5 years now, and the home has required a lot of repairs, such as water, intrusion of mold. We've been able to cash flow the problems, but it has cost over $15,000, not to mention our sanity. It has also changed our relationship because they frequently contact us for issues or requests in spite of many conversations about what is, quote, nice to have versus what is, quote, needed. We're trying to honor our word, but it has been very taxing emotionally and financially. We're in baby step 6, and we need to plan for our own retirement. I keep telling myself to suck it up, but we are losing tons of money with no end in sight. I've listened to the show long enough to know we probably shouldn't have done this, but at the time it felt like the right thing to do. What would you do if you were in our shoes? Well, first off, I wish I had more information, Dave. I want to know how old these parents are. I want to know more. I want to know the value of the house, because I'm thinking if you bought a house in 2019, like the value's probably gone up a good deal. Mm-hmm. So they might not be losing money in the way that she thinks. Now, the actual idea of doing this, I think, was a really bad idea. I think there was just a lack of foresight here, and I don't know what the promise was. Did they say, hey, we're doing this house, you're going to live here and, until you die, and we're covering it? I don't know what the promise was, but I think that they may have, promised more than what they could deliver on, and I think that's probably what she's feeling some type of way about.
So she's got a lot of drama in her words.
Uh-huh. She does.
And it's her in-laws.
Uh-huh.
The piece of information I would like is I'd like to talk to her husband and see if he feels the same way.
Uh-huh. And if it was everybody's idea.
If it's bothering him to the same degree, or if this is in-law drama that you are now molding or laying over on this house.
Yes. Uh-huh. I think it's a little bit of both. She does use the word we a lot, which makes me think that there is some unity.
No, I think I don't think it was a hidden thing, but I think he went into it and went, I bought mom and dad a house, and dad's disabled. Mom got not much of a job, and they pay us what they can pay us, and we fix the stuff that breaks. And
yeah.
And she's going, oh God, I'm dying.
Yeah.
It's like, so $15,000 is not, we are losing tons of money
for
over
5 years.
5 years.
No, it's nothing.
If you own a house, you're going to spend more than $15,000 over 5 years on a house.
Mm-hmm. And they're getting some rent, which is good.
And it's going up in value.
Uh-huh. Going up in value.
Mom and dad are going to pass someday, and you're going to have a nice asset that's gone up in value that you can sell.
And probably pay off your house and more if you haven't already.
So I think first thing I would want to do is get to the bottom and say, where is all this resentment really coming from? Is it really coming from the house? I kind of don't think it is.
I don't think so. Now, there is part of it where they may have bitten off more than they realized they were going to be chewing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, in theory, it sounded good, and then when you start walking it out, you're like, oh, my goodness. But to your point, if she's writing into our show, there's something that they're not talking about.
Yeah, if your mother-in-law is calling you and asking you to fix something at a house that you gave to her at a deal, mm-hmm. And you already had mother-in-law itis, then that would just make it worse, right? I mean, that's
Yes.
it's like, well, the difference in what is needed and what's nice to have.
Yeah.
But, it's a modest home. They're modest people. She makes a modest income. There wasn't anything in here lavish.
There's also, though, Dave,
I didn't hear a jacuzzi being installed.
I think, to quote myself, I think there's also a vocab rehab that needs to happen.
Amen.
Because here she's saying, my husband and I purchased a very modest home for his parents. They don't own the home. They're renters. You guys bought a house for yourself. It's your asset. It's your home. And I think if you start viewing it as an asset that we have, it's going to change your thoughts.
I have a rental house, and it had a water leak, and I had to fix them all.
That's right. As opposed to it's.
Guess what? I've
there.
had to do that a bunch of times.
Right. So
And
that'll help.
I had zero drama about it.
That's right.
I just fixed it.
And it's going up in value.
Tree fell on the back porch. I just fixed it. It's just it's just you own a house and crap happens, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
it's
right.
like the other question that I'm with you. I don't think we have enough information because it's a very interesting question.
It is.
And I'm impugning a lot on you, Patty. I apologize for that, but trying to figure out what's really happening here, and therefore to what to do with this.
Because also their age might play into it. If
they're 87, suck it up. If they're 57,
kick them out.
Sell it and give them the money that it brings, whatever it brings. Give them the money from it, because you didn't buy it for money. You bought it to help them, and if you want to give them the whatever proceeds are, because you're going to have made some money to your point from 2019. So, that's part of it, and and I think then I would want to just really ask. I don't know.
Well, walk that out. What would you do? So let's say she's listening. She goes, yeah, you know what? They are in their 50s. They need to get out of this house. They've been paying us a small amount of rent. What would you suggest in that situation to fairly?
I mean, I don't care if you give them the money. Really, I mean, you sell the house and whatever. I don't know if there's a mortgage here or not, but pay off all the expenses, and then whatever money you've made on the house, give it to them. I don't care. I'll tell you the other piece I don't know right here is I don't know Patty's income.
Yeah, that's right.
Patty makes $300,000 a year. Stop whining and deal with it.
That's another good point.
If Patty makes $55,000 a year, then you did something you couldn't afford to do here.
That's true.
And that's where some of this drama is coming from, is the pinch. Because it's like, it's been very taxing emotionally and financially.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't understand. It's $15,000 is not taxing emotion. I mean, it's not. But so that's
It's a lot of details. Maybe call in sometime, Patty.
Yeah, we'd do that. So you can contact them back off the email if you want to, James. We'd take the call because I don't know what to do. But I think we could give a couple of scenarios. If then, okay, kind of flow charted.
Yeah.
If they're super old and you make a lot of money, then this drama is in your head. Calm down and suck it up. If they're super young and you don't make a lot of money, maybe you need to move them out and sell the house. I think those are the two variables that could be there. I don't hear a lot of mother-in-law drama, but I just think it was curious to me how much drama she had, and I wondered if her husband would feel exactly the same way. I bet he doesn't.
Now, if they're only paying, the mortgage is $2,000, and she said they're paying a small amount of rent, so they're paying $1,000. The proceeds, I'd split.
Okay, I don't care. The thing is, you're not selling it because you need money.
That's true.
She did not bring that up.
You're right. She did not bring it up.
Selling it to get rid of an emotionally and financially draining situation, to quote her.
Yeah, that's true, but she did say we're in baby step 6 and need to plan for our own retirement. So that made me think they might want some money.
Could be, and it could just be that
the drama.
I'm tired of giving them anything, and I'd rather put it in my account.
In-law situations, they get salty really quick.
Not going there. Not going to do that.
Yeah.
You're right. You started the whole thing right when you said you shouldn't have done it.
Foresight. You have to play these things out in your mind years and years to see where it will land and all of the different variations of the plan.
When you're trying to help your parents, you're trying to help your grown kids, you do not enter into a process that does not bring them to sustainability on their own. And so you get them up where they're standing on their own feet and you let them go. So whatever you're doing, create a situation that gets them up on their own feet instead of a continuous drain. And so so you people pay in your 28-year-olds private schools for their kids That's not sustainable. You shouldn't have entered into that. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, George Camel here for Delete Me. I saw a headline the other day that made me squirm. 1/3 of the US population's background info is now public. We're talking 115 million Americans' personal info out there in cyberspace for data brokers to buy, sell, and trade like Pokemon cards. And data theft happens all the time. Data brokers get your info, like your name, address, phone number, even your kids' names, and then boom, it's available to online bad guys. But to that, Delete Me says, not so fast. That's because Delete Me finds and removes your personal info from hundreds of these data broker sites, and they send you an easy-to-read report showing you exactly what they did and how much time they've saved you. What I love most is that Delete Me reduces the risk for scams for me and my family. Not to mention that we get fewer creepy ads and robocalls. So it's time to take control of your online privacy. Their individual Delete Me plans start as low as $9 a month, and you can get 20% off if you go to joindeleteme.com/Ramsey. That's joindeleteme.com/Ramsey.
The $12 sale is here through August 31st. We've got $12 books to help you raise Money Smart Kids. The book Smart Money Smart Kids, #1 bestseller by Rachel Cruz and me. $12 books to help you get out of debt and build wealth, including our #1 bestseller, Baby Steps Millionaires, including Jade's book. $12 books to help you build a peaceful and joyful life. Dr. John Deloney walks you through the 6 daily choices in building a non-anxious life. Ken Coleman's From Paycheck to Purpose will help you do work that really matters. All $12. Check them out, RamseySolutions.com/sale. Barbara is in Santa Barbara. Hi, Barbara. How are you?
Oh, good. Thank you so much for taking my call. It's a pleasure to talk to you both.
You too.
I've been listening to you for quite a while. I know how you love whole life insurance policies. But my husband took one out literally in college in the 60s because a friend of his, got their first job and sold everybody in the fraternity house a whole life policy. So it is now 2024. We still have this policy, but I've never heard you address this issue. If we terminate this policy, because I feel we can self-insure at this point, I have a loan on this policy for $63,000. And the agent is telling me if I surrender the policy, that will be taxed at my income or income level. Is that true?
No.
No.
It's not true.
Because I thought my understanding was the way you talk about it, when you borrow against the policy, you're actually borrowing your own money and paying interest to borrow it.
Exactly.
So I thought,
and so
your
cash value amount is how much?
$3,030.
Above the 63.
Yes.
Okay, so you'll get a check for $3,000.
Okay.
Okay, and you have a net income as a result of that of $66,000, which includes the loan, okay? That amount is compared to the total amount you have paid into the policy since the beginning, which is way more than $63,000.
Okay.
Your basis in a cash value policy for tax purposes is the total of your premiums paid in.
Right.
And as long as your cash value does not exceed that number, you have zero taxes.
Okay, so I would think that since it's been paid on since really the 70s or 60s, 70s.
Yeah, how much have you paid on it? Do you know?
No, I have no idea. The death benefit's $24,000.
Yeah,
oh my God.
But I mean, if you add it up, you're going to add up and see the total premiums that you have put in is going to be more than the cash value that you get out.
Okay, how am I going to find? Where do you find that? Can they tell me that?
They can tell you that. Yeah, the company can tell you that, or you could just say, how much is the monthly or the annual amount, and multiply it out since you got it.
Oh, okay, I got you. So as long as and I would think that we've paid in enough over all these years that it's more than $63,000. Right?
Exactly. I mean, it's been 60, was it been 60 years?
60 years.
Oh my
yeah.
Yeah.
gosh.
So if it's
I
$1,000
know,
a
it's
year,
terrible.
if
I
you only
wish
paid
I
$1,000
know,
a
I
year,
wish
you're
I-
still okay.
Yeah, I wish I'd found you a long time ago. I would have never bought this policy, but I just never knew about this loan thing because I know you say surrender them if you can self-insure, but I've never heard you address if you have a loan on it.
Yeah,
Because they keep telling me I'm paying income tax on it.
Well, that's what they like to tell you because they scare you to keep the thing in. But the problem is most of the people in the whole life business don't even know what they're doing.
So I figured
Their level
that
of
out.
expertise is so low because 80% of them are gone in a year. People that sell whole life insurance, 80% that start selling whole life insurance are gone in a year. So the number of seasoned, experienced, expert agents that have been doing it for 30 years is close to zero because they look up and realize how bad they're ripping people off and they get out of the business.
The numbers on this are bananas.
Yeah.
She's been paying into it since the 60s.
Yeah.
It only had $63,000 of cash value and only a $24,000 death benefit.
Yep. Yep.
I'm shooketh.
Yes. I mean, what if there was $63,000 and she hadn't borrowed on it
I know.
and she died or he died?
They'd lose it.
They get $24,000. The 63 be gone. The only way you ensure you get it is to keep a loan on it. And then when you try to get out of this complete screw job, they lie to you or they're ignorant, one of the two, about how the tax calculation actually works.
That is crazy.
Yeah, this is how bad it is. It's the payday lender of the middle class.
Remember on Sanford and Son when Red Fox, I'm coming to join you. When you have the,
What was his wife's name? Lily?
I think so. I can't remember.
I'm coming.
Oh gosh, that
Grab
makes
his
my
chest
heart.
and fall back. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Oh.
Sheesh.
That's it. That's how it works. Spencer is in Austin, Texas. Hi, Spencer. How are you?
Dave, Jade, thanks so much for taking my call.
Sure.
Doing great.
What's up?
So my situation right now, so I live in a house that my parents own, and they want to sell it to me, and I want to buy it from them, and I have the cash to pay it off.
Good.
But they want to, which I definitely following your plan on that for sure, paying off cash. I don't like debt either. But anyway, I guess the reason I'm calling, though, is because, so they've owned this house for just under a decade. And so, they bought it back in 2016 for just under $100,000. And now, as you know, the housing market is crazy. So I think this house is worth somewhere between, 200 to 225. So, they want to sell it to, so we haven't negotiated a price yet, but they want to sell it to me, somewhat close to what they paid for it.
Wow.
So I guess my question is, I know it's a good deal for sure. But I guess my question is, and I guess I'm calling on their behalf too, because, we're wondering about, are there going to be capital gains taxes? How does it work with me buying it at much less than what it's worth? How does all that kind of work? And what's some ways around, if there are any, around capital gains and things like that?
Okay. Well, capital gains tax is calculated on the gain over basis. Now, let me kind of walk you through that. That's a technical thing, all right? What you pay for a house is your basis, okay? So let's say they paid $100 for it, and let's be simple for a second and say they sold it to you for $150. Then they would pay capital gains tax on the 50 gain. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. And that's at 15%, and so that would only be what $7,500 will be their taxes. Okay. That's a simplified look at the thing. Now, we'll add a couple of complications in there. If they have been renting the property and have been filling out a tax return on that and depreciating the property against their taxes, taking depreciation, then they have an adjusted basis. So the $100,000 they paid for it minus any depreciation that they have taken becomes their basis. So let's say they had taken $20,000 worth of depreciation on their taxes over the years, then their basis is no longer 100. Now it's 80. You following me?
Yes, sir.
It's called an adjusted basis. And then your taxes are going to be on the difference between the 150 and the 80. So they're going to pay taxes on 70 grand in that case. So that's how you calculate it out. If they sell it to you weirdly below market, like let's say this thing's worth $300 and they sell it to you for $100, you probably ought to get some tax advice as to whether or not that's going to qualify as just a good deal, or whether the IRS would look at that as giving you a gift and try to tax them on a gift tax. I wouldn't want them to get hit with that. So there's kind of a gray area on the difference in a gift and a good deal. And
and that was my other question too, because they're going to sell it to me for less than what it's currently valued at, and so I guess they were kind of worried about that as well.
How absurd it, if they sell it to you for $1 and it's worth $1 million, then they're going to get hit with a gift tax, okay? Because that's a gift. That's not just a good deal. That's over the top, okay? It's going to kind of shake everybody up that looks at it. But if you sell you a $300,000 house for $200,000, that's probably just a good deal. So you need to talk to a tax advisor on that part of it to make sure that you're not violating anything on gift tax. At what point does the IRS look at something being a good deal or being a gift? And then they also can help you with calculation on the basis. So, good deal. And pay cash for it, and it's a free, clear transaction. It sounds like a wonderful deal. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, it's Rachel Cruz. Just about everything costs more these days, and healthcare is no exception. So if you're looking at your healthcare options during open enrollment, be sure to check out Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM is not health insurance. It's a biblically based health cost-sharing ministry that's helped hundreds of thousands of families just like yours with healthcare costs. CHM is affordable, aligns with your values, and gives you more options for your healthcare. And you can join at any time, including open enrollment. Find out more and join today at chministries.org/budget. That's chministries.org/budget.
Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. We're glad you're here. Val is in Minneapolis. Hey, Val, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Oh, family. I listened to you 5 years, and I said it's time to stop listening and start doing.
Okay, good. How can we help today?
So right now, I've finally started with the first and second steps. But now I'm at the point where I have 3 kids that I know I shouldn't have, and I did it 5 years. I co-signed for a car loan because, if you do one, you got to do the other one. Oh. So I'm stuck with these 3 car loans. One of them is about to be paid off in 2 months. The other one, she's paying half on it because she said she don't have all of it to pay the whole car note, and I'm paying the other one. And the third one is just saying they don't have the money right now. Oh. So my question was, I was thinking about just letting the other 2 cars just go because I can't afford to pay for neither one of them. And so would it be a good idea if I just let them repo it and just let it go on my credit?
Well, you're going to have a repossession on your credit. You co-signed. Yeah, and then when they sell the car and it doesn't bring what's owed, they're going to come after you for the difference.
I know, but that's why I hit them at the point where.
Yeah, you're going to get sued and you're going to have your credit screwed up. So let's talk about the one car is almost paid off, so it's not a problem, right?
Right.
Okay, so the second car, they're wanting you to pay part of the payment. What is owed on that second car?
The one car is one is $16,000 on one, and the other one is like $14,000.
Okay, and what are they worth?
The one for $16,000 is only worth $8,000, which I was shocked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the one that's worth $14, or the one that you owe $14, what's it worth?
$14,000 is about. I think they said I almost sold that one for $10,000. So I'm thinking, this guy was going to buy it for $10,000, but he never did come through. So I guess it's only worth like $9,000 or something.
Well, just because one guy didn't buy it, that doesn't establish value. But if you can sell the $10,000 car for $10,000 and get the loan, you have to get a loan somewhere for $4,000 to cover the difference. Who are these loans with?
They with my credit union.
Good. Go down to your credit union. Tell them you want to sign a note for the difference before these cars get repoed, and you're going to have $12,000 in debt. You sell an $8,000 car that you owe $16,000 on. You sell a $10,000 car that you owe $14,000 on. You're going to have a debt with that credit union, because otherwise they take these cars and they're not going to sell them for 10 and for 8. They're going to sell them for 5 and for 4 at the repo
so I can
lot.
Sell this car back to the bank?
No.
Oh, I thought you said I could sell it back to the bank.
No, I said you go down to the bank and tell them you want to sign a note for the difference of what the car won't bring. They have a $16,000 loan on a car that's worth $8,000. You're going to end up with an $8,000 loan at the credit union instead of a $16,000 loan. And you sell a car that's worth $10,000 that you owe $14,000 on, you're going to end up with a $4,000 loan instead of a $14,000 loan. And your kids are going to get about the business of getting their own cars.
Right.
But you get to pay the 8 and the 4 difference, which is going to be 12, because they're not going to come through on that. You and I know that.
Yeah.
This is what you pay. This is called a co-signing fee.
Is that what you're calling it?
I thought there was an actual thing that's going on.
It's a stupid tax is what it is. When I do something stupid and it costs me money, I call it stupid tax, and the co-signing is stupid.
Yeah, I learned that.
Yeah, you learned it. You learned it 3 times over. You thought you were doing something nice, and you did the right thing the wrong way. Mm-hmm. You were being kind and sweet and unwise. And you knew you were unwise when you were doing it, but you were too kind and sweet to stop doing it. So next time, be more wise and less sweet.
I know, that's right. Wow.
Well, the truth is she didn't do the kids any favors either, because they've been strapped to this.
That's right. That's right.
You think you're doing somebody a favor, and you strap them to something they can't afford, and that's why the bank wouldn't loan them the money in the first place.
And everybody feels the strain.
Yeah, Thanksgiving dinner tastes different. So co-signing is so universally stupid. The banks are the most aggressive lenders on the planet. They love to loan money. And if they won't loan somebody money, it really means
something
that they can't pay it. And instead, we step in and we go, "Oh, it's little Junior. We'll help Junior." And we step up and we co-sign. And Proverbs 17:18 says, "One lacking in sense co-signs for another."
Wow.
The contemporary English version, the CEV of the Bible in 17:18 Proverbs says, "If you co-sign for someone else, it's stupid." That's what that version of the Bible says.
Layman's
the Bible
terms.
called it stupid. So I didn't get mad at God. But yeah, and I co-signed for a guy one time, and I ended up having to pay it. And a guy co-signed for me one time, and he ended up having to pay it because I went bankrupt that time. And I had to go back and pay him back later. It's an awful, awful mess. Don't get into those things. It's a horrible, horrible situation. So poor Val. I feel so sorry for her. It's awful. Hey, guys, things are changing around the Ramsey Show here. This week, back on Monday, we made a move. We have a network app called the Ramsey Network app that you can download for free. You can listen to the whole show on the Ramsey Network app or watch the whole show on the Ramsey Network app, whichever you prefer to do. The last 40 minutes coming up is only on the Ramsey Network app or on Talk Radio as of this week. And so if you're used to getting the entire show on podcast, you can still get the entire show. It's still completely free, but you can only get the last 40 minutes on the network app. You can watch the whole thing, but you can get the last 40 minutes only on the network app. So you YouTube folks, podcast folks out there, you're expecting another 40 minutes. It's there, but it's only over on the Ramsey Network app. You can get it for free. We're not charging for this. It's all free, and it's searchable. You can search it by subject, and you can even send in an email, ask questions. We might answer some Ramsey app questions at some point. So the Ramsey Network app in the App Store or Google Play, completely free, not going to cost you a thing. And Jade, this is exciting.
It is.
The things that we're putting in this app to help you guys and help you access the information that you're listening for. You could listen for 3 days and not get the answer to your question.
Yeah, but if you want to know about car repossessions, you can just Google it in. And
you'll hear Val's call. Yeah, exactly. That's what's going to happen because they do come after you for the deficit,
That's
like we
right.
were telling her
That's
in
right.
that case. So 2 ways to get the free app. You can click the link in the show notes, or you can search Ramsey Network in the App Store or Google Play. And again, we're going to be adding lots and lots of tools to this thing in the future. Right now, we have the searchable feature. We have some audio books and some other things dropping in there. We've got all kinds of processes because we're building stuff out where we can deliver to you on this app. It's very inexpensive for us to do, so it's going to be free or inexpensive for you to do. So the last 40 minutes of the show, as of this week, again, on the Ramsey Network app only, or if your talk radio station carries on talk radio, it comes out as over 3 hours. That's what we do. We do a 3-hour talk radio show. But in podcast world, it's going to look like something different. So that's the thing. So you can get you get the full episodes to the Ramsey Show only the Ramsey Network app. It's very convenient, very easy, and very free. Don't miss it. And again, Jade, the features we're putting in this thing we're excited about.
I'm really excited. I heard a little birdie talking about a show that one of us is doing that might land in there. So that's really cool.
Oh, okay.
That's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to...
I don't know which little birdie this was, so I have to find out about this birdie. Okay, cool. But that might be fun. We could do just a show just on that.
Yeah.
Like a specialty show.
Yeah, that you can only watch on the network app. That'd
like
be cool.
on a certain subject or something.
Yeah.
That would be neat.
Be special.
Okay.
Exclusive, if you will.
Yeah, and completely free. You can't argue with the free part. We have no plans to make it a subscription. It's just a free deal. So go to Ramsey Network and get the app in the App Store or Google Play, and that way you don't miss a thing. And did I mention that it's free? This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, what are you still doing here? You know the rest of the show's happening on the Ramsey Network app, right? So you got to jump over there to continue watching. You can download it for free. Just go to your app store, type in Ramsey Network. It's completely free, and I'll drop a link in the show notes to make it easy for you. So if you're watching on the app, you're in luck. But if you're watching anywhere else, this show is over for you. So jump onto the app and let the fun continue. All right. Go on now. Don't make it weird. Okay, I got nowhere to go, so you need to go. Okay, bye-bye now. All right, it's getting weird over there, guys. What do we do?